it's cool over here. I like it. But you know the weather in Vietnam is very hot outside. Unbelievable. It's still hot. Today I want to share with you this letter. Let's see. Now it's super close 4 o'clock over here. Wow. Today I want to share with you 3 love letters of the world. Today we will share the first letter I share with you is Student Pham Love teacher. And today I will share with you this letter teacher reply letter from student. Then he love her or she loved him one way. You will know that. Now we start and read together. But I told you I lost 1 page. And now we read the second page. But okay. And now we start to read together. Before I read, I wish you be enjoy, and I wish your life is lucky, and I wish you have more memory in your life, in your memory, everything good, right? Now we start and read the teacher reply the letter from the student fall in love him. Đạt to Diễm. Teacher Đạt to student Diễm. You told me that if you get married, I should not drag out being a bachelor any longer. But just whom am I to marry? You said I should marry a queen, and then you turned around and told me not to. And it just as you said that it would be better to marry anyone else than queen because I just cannot conceive of any being my sister-in-law. It is very likely that someday after you are married and I meet you unbearably, I will turn to win for love. To love any for her, and not to marry queen. Maybe I am too remain eyes, but I still think a person loves just as he dies only once in a lifetime. And so if it should happen that either you or I love someone else, it will only be a mutation of the one and only love which is ours now. I doubt that I will get married. But if I find I have to marry, it will probably to be dang. Hers is a pitiful story. She is one of my former students and the young sister of Lê Thuần. You remember? He is artist who paints his portrait. Well, one of Lê Thuần Sardis friends took advantage of her and ruined her girlhood. It happened at a time when the family were hard up, so Trang had to take the gang step from being an unspoiled schoolgirl to the world of the taxi dancer. I find she takes a puke against life, and especially seem envious of the still untouched girls like you. I know she is bitter because she hasn't the tiniest bit of happiness or respectability that either for turn of well-bred girls. This makes her cynical, and she just laughs at the world. You said that before formally accepting Kai's proposal, you wanted to do one glad thing for me, and you would do whatever I asked. It was not necessary for you to tell me not to ask or do anything that would sully purity of our love. You can take it for granted that I would never ask you anything unbecoming to either you or me. For nearly 7 years now, I have no pen to say anything. I have written nothing, deduces nothing creative. But since you are getting married, I will follow your suggestion and go back to painting and writing. So before you are formally betrothed, I would like you to visit me at my house and sit for me to paint a portrait of you. A portrait of Diễm, the niece of the uncle dad, my love, of Diễm before she became Mrs. Kai, and from the viewpoint of a master love who for nights on end and visualize the glorious figure of your body that I held up at you in my arms. I want to portray to be a nook that bare shoulders and bosom, but I don't misunderstand. Don't think I am ever slighting Julian the spotless love that she has. In suggestion, the portray idea, and not only imply no dark or low thoughts, but just the opposite. I still respect you at a high and distant idol that I can never rush. Only crass and cruel persons can look on the God in false female body with low and base ideas and feelings. But if one had love honeyly, as I do, the enchained body of his lover can only summon up high and lofty feelings. So it's up to you. I will paint your portrait however you want. If you have definitely made up your mind to marry Kai, then I will be looking for you at my house. It is coming Thursday afternoon to draw your portrait. Of course, it is really not necessary for you to pose as a model. Whether you did or not, I could still see your face, your faces, your lips before my very eyes, just as I could still amaze. I could still visualize, act graces in your body without again actually holding as if as I did when you were nothing but a tool. But the reason I want you to sit before me this Thursday is so I can look into the pair of your eyes and regard on the canvas the tone, the separation in your eyes, the dolorous visage of the girl taking leave of her love for her husband. I have about mixed up my mind. That's when you formally accept the other man's proposal. I will leave Saigon to travel for a while, and I drag along. I don't know where I will go, just as long as it's a long way from the distilling almost fair of Saigon, someplace where the moonlight is diffused, when I can sit and smoke and serve up moonlight to ponder the ways of life and consider the bitter tragedy of love. While you remain here in Saigon, if you should meet me, then one bright moonlit night, break away for a while from the noisome passing scene around you. Fasten your eyes on sky and look at the moon. When you will find my soul being tormented in your image. At a sad state of fair right, I'm repeating that sentence you wrote in your letter. As one heart to another, between you and me, who is the more sad? I'm sure I must feel worse than you, for in the space of just 5 or 10 more years, I will be in the position your father is now. Fasten the balance sheet of a totten up figure, whereas you will still be in the contracted period when one broken dream gives rise to a new dream. Just 5 or 10 years more, and I will sit coldly calculating at your father now, figuring out of the number of success of fair turn, the number of worries and joys, pains that live only to the gulping of sea. Perhaps it is because your father is in thirst with reality and that fame and fortune and a successful career are on illusion, and that in the end only love is reality. Perhaps it is for this reason your father has certainly burst forth in love, growth into life, and he is grace, the only God on the earth. He loves. To love is to life, and to life is to love. So when either you are bold and determined to leave me for a husband, nothing can make me stop loving you forever. Do you remember the moment at home when you landed your head in my chest and I lighted up your chin to walk the tears in your eyes? The passing but eternal moments were the only time we ever really live and live forever, because we flew the bounds of time and space that long as life still holds such a moment, then it is still worth living, and I can still be rocked with love. And so I'm not yet died. And no matter what, wither the earth's shoulder, and the heavens fall, I will still believe that I will never lose you. And in closing, I refuse to use the word goodbye forever. As you did, I will only stop writing for the time being. And the next letter will be even longer than this one. Teacher Dad. I will tell you a secret about Teacher Dad. Teacher Dad is not a real life personality as are most of the work well-known people. Teacher Dad is the character in the story Love, and the novel by author Chu Tử. It has been the best-selling Vietnamese novel in recent years. Teacher Dad is the embodiment of the type of the young Vietnamese intellectual, full of impulsion but important in the face of their environment. Dissatisfied of their life, the greatest hardship in the knowing, but being unable to act, in knowing, but being unable to do anything about it. Teacher Dad has prolonged his bachelorhood, living a model life. The life of the teacher without abandoning himself to leisure. When Teacher Dad decided he wanted to marry Diễm, one of his students, the girl mother put obstacles in the way, objecting that Teacher Dad were far too old for the girl, and his position in life did not bear as much promise as that of Kite, a reduced medical student. Although Diễm belongs to the new generation, she had not been swept up by new ways. She still retained the ethical training of the Oriental, which demands that children must be absolutely obedient of the wishes of four of their parents out of filial piety. Diễm's father, a long-time close friend of Teacher Dad, displayed approval of the match, but the mother remained adamant. Although Diễm still loved Dad, the first love of her young life, she respected the dictator of traditional obligation over her own heart and marries Kai into spirits of sacrifice to her mother's wishes. Someone had to say that when the history of love is written, the 20th century will go down at the age of tragedy. If this true, then two above letters and the one which follow and make it successful for Chu Tử, who has embraced it, and with a tragic and straight written almost fair. I hope so you enjoy this letter. The teacher fall in love. His student too. But the culture, the tradition, that's why they cannot come together. Right? I hope so you enjoy. Well, thank you very much for patience and read it, and we share the ray letter of the world. I hope so you enjoy, and I wish your life lucky. Thank you very much, and I hope so I can read more than the letter, not every day, one time a week. And if you enjoy more, maybe 2 times a week, and I will try. And see you next letter. Bye bye.